Hi, everybody. I'm First Warren 5 Meteorologist Warren Sears. I hope you're having a great Sunday evening. We're able to get some time outside after that rain tapered off. I'm going to give you a little update. This is kind of an in case you missed it stream here later on this Sunday evening. Just in case you didn't catch my one earlier or you didn't see our show at 5:30 today, we do have the opportunity for some thunderstorms into your Monday evening. So just want to give you an updated timeline. I'll try to really march you through kind of who sees storms when, what our risks are. So it's going to be mainly a Monday thunderstorm focus here over the next few minutes. We won't take too long with this, but just want to give you a quick little update. We do have a 10 p.m. show here in about 45 minutes, but again, just in case you can't catch that or whatever it may be, I wanted to jump on here one more time before Sunday's over. We'll be on, of course, all day tomorrow. We'll have multiple streams throughout the day, and we still have just about 24 hours before this next event. So stuff will still update, will shift, and things like that as we get more data and as we get a little bit closer. So let's get down to it. Let's talk through the next opportunity for some thunderstorms into your Monday evening. I know it's been pretty active lately, pretty stormy, but it's April, that time of the year around here. So the next few months generally a little bit more of an active season for us. So I'll show you the graphics, make sure you can see everything here. All right, let's get to it. So thunderstorm chances return. I do think a lot of your Monday is going to be dry. Now, we'll be a little bit more saturated tomorrow, meaning some more moisture streams in from the Gulf tomorrow. You'll notice it's a lot more humid during the day, especially into the afternoon. Our temperatures will climb a little bit as well, and our winds start to kick up out of the south. So all of that will make it feel a little more spring-like for sure out there tomorrow. However, with that being a little bit more saturated during the day, we might have a random shower or a little patchy drizzle at times. There could be enough squeeze out of the atmosphere. But our main event tomorrow is likely going to be later in the evening. Confidence is growing, so we did elevate tomorrow to a first warn weather day. And I know this whole first warn system's a little new for a lot of us. We haven't even had it for a year yet at KCTV5. But that first warn weather day, when we have that weather day added, that's kind of the elevated messaging. That means that we think there's going to be some impactful thunderstorms Monday evening. Likely timing more in the 7 to 9 time frame p.m. coming in from the west. So it might even take longer than that the farther east you live, past the state line onto the Missouri side. So, but just want you to know that your Monday during the day and afternoon, the severe threat is not there. It is a late evening severe threat. So, bus stop, kids heading out, things like that. I'm not overly concerned, even coming home from school either. So, the risk for severe weather on Monday does, the Storm Prediction Center does have a level 3 out of 5 risk for Kansas City. This hasn't changed yet, but there's a new update that comes in after midnight. But what happened from yesterday to today is this area was expanded. So this now includes the whole metro, the state line, through St. Joe, through now a lot of western Missouri. And again, that's a level 3 out of 5 an enhanced risk, which is a pretty healthy and pretty significant risk there. That just kind of plays into our confidence. Confidence is growing. We'll have some stronger thunderstorms. Now, those of you farther to the east in that yellow shade, slight risk, level 2 out of 5. I don't want you to get too hung up on being in a slightly lower risk. I think everybody here in our area has the opportunity for thunderstorms tomorrow evening, but that orange shade is the slightly higher risk for severe weather, if you get what I'm saying. The severe threat will start to fall a little bit the later we go, but I still think you could have noisy thunderstorms in your area, even if you're in that slight yellow risk. So pretty noisy late Monday into early Tuesday for sure. All right. So once we get past, let's show you our risks for severe weather. Right now, I'm more focused on this being a gusty wind, kind of straight line wind out of the thunderstorm type of an event. Likely will be a line as it comes through. So not your individual large supercells that, are rotating and can have really big hail in a tornado, long track tornado. That's not this type of a setup. This is going to be more linear. So it will start as, I think, a supercell event far to the west in western Kansas. But as you go through the evening, the storms will grow together and become more of a line. And then as we get those types of setups, generally a straight line wind event is the bigger concern. Now, that doesn't mean we can't get a brief spin up tornado in some of this line, because that can happen. An embedded, what we call a QLCS tornado, can be just a quick little spin up. They're usually not on the ground near as long, and they're sort of hard to detect on the leading edge of a line that comes in. So the tornado threat is not zero, but it is not a long track, widespread tornado type of an event. More of a stronger wind and a small hail threat. So hopefully that kind of answer some of the questions. I've actually seen a lot come through today about the tornado risk, and it's there for a low end brief spin up tornado. Those are usually on the weaker edge, and they're not on the ground for very long. And so again, more of an isolated chance. So gusty winds, the big thing that we'll be watching out for. Let's show you the timeline as we get through our overnight and Monday morning. Not really concerned with much, but as I mentioned, a jet kicks in, a warm front lifts in, and the moisture streams back into the area. So you can see Forecast Track does try to pinpoint here. Oh, looks like I lost some of my data. That's not good. Let me go into this graphic real quick and see if I can update it. Oh, our latest HRRR run isn't coming through. That's not good. Here's why. Wasn't clicked on the right setting. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this is more helpful. There we go. So now the clouds aren't animating. 1 second. Stand by. I want to make sure I get you all the latest information coming in. And the clouds were also on. Okay, here we go. I'll blame this on meteorologist Savannah Tennyson. Savannah, if you're watching. All right, so once we get into our Monday morning, here we go. There is an opportunity for a couple of light showers, maybe a little drizzle. No severe, again, I just want to rehash this. No severe threat during the day on Monday. So this could be a weak shower. That's really about it. Some cloud coverage around during the day. Now let's watch from the west. That line of thunderstorms, as I mentioned, starts to spread in from west to east. This latest run, though, actually does have a couple of cells out ahead of it. Those could be stronger as well. That you see that little cell near Sedalia. But nonetheless, I'm thinking after 7 to 9 p.m., a lot of this activity will fire up in our area. So it's not until then that our severe risk is present. So closer to 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Now, obviously, we'll take this with a little grain of salt here, give or take. You give it a little wiggle room. But this is what radar could look like around 9. So it's a long line of storms. There's going to be some heavier embedded pockets and stronger pockets within. There could be warnings along this whole line. We'll just have to see how the environment plays out. We are getting after sunset, so you lose some of the ingredients. But if the line of storms is really strong just to our west and it carries through, they could still stay rocking. So because this is closer to an after sunset event, definitely makes it a little more dangerous. There's no need to be out and about late Monday evening, at least with the latest trends that we have in here. So near state line, potentially around 9. Just be ready on the Kansas side between 7 to 9 p.m., maybe even just 6 to be safe. But I'd say more 7 to 9 p.m., and then it'll go from west to east through the metro, through the state line, and then continue on to the east closer to 10, 11, midnight. So those of you that live on the Missouri side, but into like central Missouri, we're talking, Pettis County, Saline County, kind of in that range, even Chillicothe, Livingston County, that Benton County, that kind of range, a little bit later for you. So, and I'm sure we'll be on, you'll know when the storms are coming through the metro, and then you'll have a little bit more time until it gets to your area. By 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of this should push through. It's a pretty fast moving line, but strong winds, frequent lightning, heavy rain, all of that associated with it. Big concerns there. But it's, again, a small window. The leading edge of these lines usually is where we have the most kind of potent part of this event. So after the leading edge generally passes through your area, your severe threat will start to fall off a little bit more and more and more and more, and then just leave you with probably lightning and some heavy rain, things like that. So that's kind of the latest update on timing. I'd say just be ready for 6 to 9 on the Kansas side, maybe 9 to midnight on the Missouri side, somewhere in there. But the Metro, kind of have my eye on the 8 to 10 time frame. That's right now what I have in place. Yeah, so tornado risk, I'm trying to watch the comments over here. Tornado risk isn't 0. No, it's not 0. But in an event like this where you have the line, see it working all the way down, this generally gives us more of a wind threat, stronger straight line winds, which, if you have an 80 mile per hour gust come out of a storm, straight line, that's equal, that could be just as damaging to an area with a low end tornado. So still don't want to take this lightly because I really expect this to be a strong line. As it nears the state line and beyond, that's when that's my bigger question mark. How well are the storms going to stay elevated? How long are the storms going to thrive in this environment? Are we going to have the ingredients in place? That's a little more of a question mark onto the Missouri side and central Missouri. We'll see how this line behaves because we've seen more times than I want to admit, our model guidance, our computer's throwing out really strong line, and it gets to the state line and it starts to fall apart. So we'll just have to see how this one pans out. I'm seeing signals right now from our computer models that are very smart that this is going to stay strong past the state line and into central Missouri. So after 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, a lot of this should be out of here. So that's kind of the latest that I have for that, for timing. And then temperature-wise, pretty mild overnight, probably in the 50s to start your morning, mid to upper 50s. We'll have an east breeze around 5. During the day tomorrow, the winds will switch out of the southeast to south, 10 to 20. 75 is kind of in the middle. Some of the models want to go a lot warmer. I'm not overly sold yet, especially if we do develop some clouds or maybe even a little patchy drizzle, at times during the day. That would hinder our temperatures. Still, though, I think it'll be warmer than today. And more humid for sure, and the wind will start to pick up a bit. And then if you are heading to the K, I know the Royals have 3 more home games against the Brewers. I would say early on in the game looks fine, first pitch. Once we get through the middle, 6th inning, 7th inning, maybe just keep an eye to the west, and we'll see how the storms are starting to come in. Hopefully with the new pitch clock, you can get the game in and be on your way before storms happen. But if you are going to be out, please just make sure that you're aware of the storm threat. Rain-wise, I know we have a lot of rain, or we've had a lot of rain. These storms will have heavy rain embedded within them. But see how fast they're coming through? That's a good sign for any sort of flash flood risk. Because our creek, streams, rivers are already really full, those friends to the south of I-70, I know you've had more than you need. I don't want to discount it. I just want to say if you have a thunderstorm come through your area, just go ahead and plan on ponding on the roadways, some runoff, things like that. But I don't expect storms to train or form and track over the same area, for hours and hours and hours. This will probably be a 2-hour window at each location, each zone as it marches through. Fast moving, still though some heavy rain, gusty winds on the table. So I would say as far as a number, let me get you a number. I actually haven't really looked a whole lot into the actual rainfall product and outlook here because I'm not as concerned with it. That's not working for me. I'll just use the same model that I'm showing you, the HRRR, if anyone likes to look at models at home. That's what I generally like to put my trust in that one the most. It does a pretty good job. All right, so as far as total rainfall goes, any of the stronger, heavier thunderstorms by this whole line coming through could drop 1/2 inch to 1 inch, max probably 1 inch. So again, nothing detrimental, but on top of what we've already seen, that is kind of a lot. So we will watch that for sure. Joy, hopefully it weakens again before reaching the metro. I know. I hope so too. But I just want to give you an update of what I'm seeing out there right now. We still are about 24 hours out from this event. But, these smart computers, a lot of calculus and derivations and A lot of time and money has gone into a lot, these models, and they do a pretty good job. Obviously, they're not perfect. They're giving the best educated guess here, but they stay strong through the state line and into the metro. Gusty winds, probably 60 to 70. The bigger concern, hail, quarter inch, and then the small chance at a tornado. I'll make sure. Yeah, I know some people are just joining us, so I'll give you one more look at an updated timeline, just so everybody's questions are met. So during the day, we can have an isolated shower, maybe a quick area patchy drizzle, some low clouds I think start to develop because our air is pretty saturated. But out ahead of this line, so you might see some strong storms in western and central Kansas tomorrow. They'll start as what we call supercells, probably just a couple of them that are really strong. That poses a longer track tornado risk across like south central Kansas. If you have any friends down in Wichita or family, I'm sure they are aware. People are great about being weather prepared down there. But there's a higher tornado risk kind of down out in central Kansas, south central Kansas, and then even in through the Flint Hills. Then it starts to fall off as this grows into a line. So tornado risk not super high, but don't want to rule it out. In a line like this, we did last week. We tracked a couple of tornadoes on the leading edge. They're quick. They're spin-ups, oftentimes not on the ground for very long. But since we are talking about closer to dark and beyond, just don't be surprised if maybe we have a warning or two out there tomorrow. But probably more of a gusty wind threat. All right, so let's say 6 to 9 p.m., we'll watch this line of storms come in from the west. So those of you on the Kansas side, we're talking our friends in Jefferson, Douglas, Atchison, Anderson, Franklin counties. You'll likely see storms first with this line. Could have maybe one or two pop up out ahead of it, like this model suggesting, somewhere into central Missouri where the atmosphere has got a lot of juice available. So the actual line of storms, though, the main event comes in between 6 to 9 from the west. And I'd say in the metro, I'm kind of going that 8 to 10 time frame. So that's my guess right now, along the Missouri River and the state line, Kansas-Missouri state line. Then after that, 10 to midnight, this will continue to push and pulse through the area as a line and get you in north central Missouri into the heart of Missouri a little bit later than those of us in the metro. And then by the time we get into early Tuesday morning, 2 to 5 a.m., a lot of this should be marching to the east. So yeah, you're welcome. Thanks guys for jumping on. These are cool for us. It's a sort of a newer, I guess not incredibly new, but a newer push. I know we have a lot of you that do get your news through social media, and we want to make sure we're there for you. And it gives me a little bit more time to interact and answer questions, and it is a really nice tool for us to have. I do have a show in 30 minutes, so I'm going to jump off as we prepare for that. But just a reminder, severe risk in place for Monday evening late. During the day, no severe risk. Commute to work, commute home from work, school, lunch break, recess, no big severe risk. Later in the evening, after 6, 7, 8 o'clock, we'll watch a line come in from the west. So, hi, Savannah. Sorry to call you out. I was like, why isn't this working? And then I went in and saw that she had done something to the graphic for her benefit, and I get it, totally get it. All right. Okay, everybody. Thank you for hopping on, and I'll see you at 10 on KCTV. Gianni and I and Marlia tonight. So we will see you here in about 30 minutes. All righty. I'm going to leave you with the view of where?